Yeah, I've done that too. Yeah.
And then putting it back.
Yeah. But I love his music now. But when especially that night, when he started on the back going around, and as he's getting closer and closer, I can feel myself like getting ready to throw up. And he gets closer and closer, and he's right. The worst one's when he's next to you, because it's like, not worse, but it's like you can feel it coming, but it's not going. He's right there. And then when he comes to you and does it, it's just like, I don't know what it is, but and he looks like, I remember him so tall, and in the night when he walks in the shadow, he looks like Jesus. Like he was like when he's walking, like when you're in it, and it's big dude in the shadow, and it's just like, whoa, this guy's like, it's real, yeah.
We just migrated parties. We were Should I plug in, Kendy? Oh, hey! Fancy running into you again.
You look so pretty.
Did you change your outfit though? No. Oh, I curled my hair. Okay. Did you change your earrings?
Yeah.
No.
No. Wow.
Yeah, nothing really. How long have you guys been in for? Indefinite?
Okay. You want to quit? You can do it. Did you feel it?
That's
Oh, you
cool.
got it all.
Well, hey,
I haven't met you yet. I'm Kendy.
I haven't made it.
Okay. I hear about you. I haven't met you yet.
Yeah.
And I swear. Yeah. No, I just did all of my cleansing. Like, yeah. I was like, oh my god. Kendyl. No. Did you have a heart rate here?
As soon as I say that,
Yeah, I think it was sprinkly. That's why we did that.
I tried Tixier
Coming forward. They pick your chair up and it's overcast. It just like everyone's like this big. Stare it way. Everybody's so far away.
Coming into the light.
Into the light. It's not too sunny, and you can escape into the tent.
Okay.
Too hot.
Closer? Closer than that? Up on the mat? Okay. Don't be shy, guys.
Carrie for you.
The legends.
Oh, good. Feel nice. Oh, love it.
Hello. Happy day.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
That's a good shirt. I like that.
So I guess this is gonna be like our church song. Original song too, yeah.
Oh, we're learning a song. Yes.
We're gonna write one.
Right up the front.
Yeah, we'll write one too.
What, you want to sit with us?
Oh yeah, yeah. Is Ringo insane?
Are you working?
Thank you. Everybody else is gonna have to share. That's all I got.
Oh, no.
Here's some of my lap. So Mahalo song is basically a thank you song to Spirit or Creator, and we can do maybe I'll sing it once, and then we'll do call and response. You can read along while we sing it. Uolaia kamakaloala, huaike alohala, huaia kahaloala, havehi maina lehua, maiko okuia kahalavaila, mahalo eke hua. Mahalo e kuala ea, mahalo me ke aloha, mahalo me ke aloha. So hola ia, kamaka loala, kuai ke aloha. Kuhaia kahaloala, havehi maina lehua, mai ho'okuia kahalavaila, mahalo e ke akua, mahalo e ke akua la ea, mahalo me ke aloha. So practice it, everybody. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you song. Welcome. Listen, it's a beautiful Sunday, Easter Sunday afternoon, and we're really appreciative of Kendyl coming in and sharing her most amazing music with us to start off our little gathering. And want to welcome the new people. There's new people here today, and whether you're remotely joining us or here in person, Vital Living is an association that we are is a nonprofit, and it's based in Hawaii, but we really would like it to create a global nonprofit and reach out to people all over the world. So we're starting here, and are gonna create a couple of probably songs and share things with people and have people learn about Hawaii, but also bring it to the global picture as well. And I think to begin, we want, and some of the people here know that we are teaching community classes. We like to teach community classes and share educational programs and practitioner programs, and really reach out to really share our message about living vitally and being vitally alive and the beast. So we started gatherings in December, and our first gathering was about the beast, about the vital force, and about the spirit that is alive in all of us that helps to balance us and nurture us and keep us in a peaceful place. And that was December. And each month we've had a gathering here. We've been very fortunate to have a number of different people to join us. And the January one was about change, I believe. It was about transformation, about moving into the new year, into 2022. And the next one in February was about balance, if I'm remembering. And then our last month was about nourishing, and that was March. And this month is April, and we're here to cleanse. And I was feeling that in the spirit of Easter today, that I was thinking that, what is cleansing and clearing? It's really allowing the old that's no longer serving us to move away, sometimes sort of clearing out or even having some kind of a death. And then the renewed or the new can come in. There's space for it. So if you don't clear the old away, then it's cluttered. And we're going to have some really fun talk about that today. And how do we do that? And how do we keep present to move the old out and the new in? So I think for starters, we have Carrie and Sarah going to share some beautiful clearing energy with us. So let's
Hello, everyone. Hi. So, we both work a lot with energy and mind, right? Really understanding that a lot of our physical reality outside of us is a reflection, mirror of essentially what's going on inside of us, right? So, in the newsletter, I wrote a little bit of an article about this, about how if we have a bit of a chaotic mind, if we're really busy, we have a lot of things going on, what happens? Chances are our outer environment becomes messy or unorganized or uncared for in the ways that we might hope for, because we're busy. I hire a cleaner for my house, so I just don't have time. But there's this point where we recognize that in combination with our physical environment and trying to keep our physical environment clean and happy and clear, we also want to clear our mind and help to rest. And this is one importance of why meditation comes into our life, how we can really help to calm the mind, help to bring clarity, and help to enhance our inner world, so then we might have more patience, more clarity, more time to enhance our outer world. Vice versa, if we take time to clean and organize and care for our outer world, it also can help to calm our mind. So today we're going to focus more on the mind and helping to access a calm mind, okay, to then maybe foresee where our home environment, our bedroom, our closet, our work environment, where we might not be giving enough attention. Okay, so today we're going to help to bring clarity in the mind as well as possible ease to any emotional attachment that we might have to resistance or organization to those outer environments. Like sometimes I don't want to clean out my closet even though I knew it needs to happen because I have an emotional attachment to those things that I know I need to let go of. Right? So it's an interesting experience to realize it's all entangled. So today we're going to focus on calming the mind as well as accessing those areas in our physical world that might need clearing and cleansing and purification. And then working on the emotional body to help release whatever ties we have to that. To then, when we go home, it'll be much easier to bring organization and clarity and cleansing to it. Does that make sense? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So we will guide you through the entire experience. This experience will be really nice to have your eyes closed, to just kind of go inward, okay? So if you feel like you want to lay down, awesome, that's okay too, but just sitting is nice and just allowing yourself to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just doing your best to become aware of your breath. Our breath is the key to everything. That's what I have been discovering through my own journey. When we have a breath that only reaches into the chest, as opposed to being able to reach fully down into the belly and through our entire center, we tend to be living a fast-paced life. Most likely thinking about the future or all of our responsibilities. So doing our best to calm that breath and bringing it into the lower belly, giving yourself space to really settle into your body, settling into this moment. If you have to place your hands on your belly, that's helpful to make sure that your breath is actually reaching there. That can be helpful to some. Feel any resistance maybe in the diaphragm as you're trying to get that breath down into the belly, please know that this is okay. It's okay. It just means that maybe you've been up in the chest for quite a while. Allowing your breath to come into the belly. And giving yourself a nice exhale. Bring a little more awareness to this breath. As your breath reaches the lower belly, notice as then it starts to fill up your center. You'll feel it fill your diaphragm and then it'll reach up to your chest. It's essentially traveling from the base of your spine all the way up. So you're filling your cup from the base to the top. Exhale, allowing any tension to be released. This breath alone can be quite centering, quite grounding. We're going to do a little bit of a different deep breath at this point. And just follow my guidance the best you can using your imagination. Okay? So on your next inhale, I want you to imagine as if your breath is coming in through your heart space, in through your chest. Still allowing that inhale to reach your lower belly. On the exhale, imagining as if that breath is leaving through your heart space. Maybe you can sense what that might feel like if your breath is moving in through your heart. Maybe if you're visual, maybe you even have color that you sense in your mind of what that color is. Maybe you have to imagine it all together, and that's okay. Just allowing that breath in through the heart. Out through the heart. Your heart is the strongest electromagnetic field in your entire body. It has the ability to calm your entire nervous system. It has the ability to calm your mind, allowing your focus to continue breathing in through your heart and out through your heart. Each exhale, allowing any tension simply to dissipate, dissolve. Allowing in one more deep, slow, centering inhale. Slow exhale. Now I want you to ask yourself, in your mind, in your heart, what space in your home, bedroom, maybe it's your car, maybe it's your workspace, what space are you possibly ignoring or avoiding? You don't have to know the answer, you don't have to know the reason. Just what space is lacking attention and might be gathering clutter or dust. Just allowing that to settle there with acceptance. It is what it is. Just bringing it into awareness.
And as some of those spaces come to mind that might need a little extra love or attention, you may also feel that in the body, whether that's a physical sensation or an emotion. So just doing a gentle scan of the body, maybe starting at the toes, rising up to the head, or just starting from the head, falling down to the toes, however you want to do it. Just noticing any subtle energies, any pulsing, maybe a clenching or a pulling or a constriction to the breath as you have those certain areas in your life come to mind. But we're just becoming a witness. We're not trying to tell a story or change anything. We're just seeing what comes into our awareness. Be operating from a space of curiosity about ourselves. And just listening to the body. Maybe a not so nice feeling. Maybe a worry sensation. Maybe a contraction of heart space, but whatever it is, we're just watching. And in this way, we can see directly how our inner world reflects our outer world, how our outer world often reflects our inner world. The two are symbiotic. And So when you feel ready, you can just gently open your eyes, just let them flutter open. We're going to move into a slightly more activating breath, a cleansing breath. And this is a Kapalabhati breathing. It's called a skull cleansing breath. So this is used for many, many cleansing purposes within the body. It really aids our digestion. It really gets into the lungs, into the bronchioles, into the chest, clearing up mucus or any kind of congestion in that area. So it's really good to do if you have, a bit of sinus stuff going on or anything at all. But it also really working with the abdomen and really, really active exhalations. We're doing an active exhale and a passive inhale. I'll show you guys, obviously. But what we're really doing is we're also massaging our entire digestive system. We're really getting into the diuretic breath that's going to help to aid all of our digestion and all the other functions of our body, really. But this is called a skull cleansing breath, my understanding, because it also creates that vitality in the body, brings a flow to the face, and it's also really good for cleansing negative or mental clutter. So perfect for that sort of inner world cleansing in the body. We tend to store and hold on to our experiences much in the same way that we tend to leave our leftovers in the fridge or don't want to go down into the basement to deal with the mess down there, that kind of thing. Our bodies operate in much the same way. So this really helps to move a lot of that stagnant energy of the body and get that life force flowing. So just keeping eyes gently open. I'll show you guys kind of first, or we can do it slowly together. But you're going to let everything go kind of soft, letting the belly kind of hang like a baby, like a Buddha. Maybe letting out a nice big exhalation, letting it all go. And you want to sit really upright for this. You want to have a nice spine, straight up, if you can. Kind of plugging the seat bones into the chair, imagining the tailboard extending down into the earth. Just feeling fully rooted and grounded into the earth at the same time. You can kind of just gently lay your palms on the knees if that feels good. Just letting all the tension go in the arms and the shoulders. And we're going to take a nice deep inhalation. And you want to really fill up for this inhalation, doing it through the nose. Starting from the belly, letting it fill up into the chest. And then we're just going to do some nice short bursts through the nose, exhaling all of our breath out. So I'll show you first. We could just do like, let's say 11 together if you want. But basically filling up. And then so notice as I'm exhaling actively through the nose, almost like blowing out candles through the nose, that kind of breath. Your abdomen is going to be contracting back, so everything is going to be sort of pulling in on the exhale. Almost like the bellows if you were fanning the flames of fire. But your inhale just happens naturally. You don't need to worry about your inhale. It's just going to happen naturally when you do this active exhale. Perfect. Does everyone have the general gist of it? So we'll do 3 rounds together. We're just going to do them nice and easy. You can do this at your own time and your own practice. And if you want to further the practice, the more you practice it, you can add more breaths to your rounds, or you can do it more actively, like pick up the pace, a little more momentum, something like. But practice a bit first. Just get a feel for it. So you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever feels good to you now. We're going to do 11 breaths, just sort of together, but really at your own pace. That's okay. So really filling up nice and full through the nose. Filling up. When you're ready, just exhaling 11 times through the nose. Short, sharp breath through the nose. And you're contracting your abdomen back, kind of letting all those muscles squeeze in to massage that digestive, the whole entire abdomen, the heart. And in your own time, when you get to 11 breaths, you can go ahead and just pause and just go ahead and let the breath come in nice and easy, slowly through the nose, bringing that inhalation, that sweet breath right back into the body, nice and easy, and exhaling gently, easily. Just taking a rest for a few moments before you jump back into another round. Maybe feeling that energy swirling through the body, that activation of the prana, the mana, chi flowing through the body. Whenever you're ready in your own time, you can just fill right back up, taking a nice full breath. I'm going to do 11 more of these active exhales on your own through the nose. nose. Really using the abdomen to help push that air out through the nose. And when you get to 11, same thing. You can just gently take a nice deep inhale, nice deep exhale. We're going to do our third round, just 11 more and we're done, guys. So just a nice deep inhalation when you're ready, really filling up like a balloon, starting from the belly up to the heart, and then 11 exhales on your own. Letting the shoulders be relaxed, the neck, the face, everything's relaxed while you do this. We're just operating from the abdomen. When you get to 11, taking a nice sweet, full deep inhalation, exhale, letting it all go, maybe letting out a sigh. Just keeping the eyes closed now for a moment more. We're just going to check back in, scanning the body, moving through the body, seeing what's getting your awareness once more, maybe noticing if any of that stagnation might have shifted. Maybe just feeling a little more in tune with the body and the energies that are flowing through the body. Maybe feeling those worries or those anxieties just melting. Your inhales are nice and deep and full. And just grounding right back into this present moment. Whenever you're ready, you can just gently open the eyes. I just wanted to share there's so many breathwork techniques, pranayama techniques that we can use to clean house. So many different ways to do that. This one is a really good one to do, especially in the morning on an empty stomach. It's not the best one to do after a big meal. none of the activating breaths are good after a big meal, but it's something you can use if you're just feeling a little bit overwhelmed or not sure where to put your energy, or things are a little bit frantic or frenetic. It's a really good one to kind of get that inner heat going and to kind of cleanse out some of those stagnant energies. I think it's like 70 to 80% of our toxins are released on an exhale. So doing a bit of activating exhale is a really beautiful way to do a nice cleanse in the body. It's also energetically very cleansing, mentally very cleansing. So maybe when you're cleaning your house, taking breaks,
Exactly.
clean the body.
Take little moments.
Yeah, it's really good. I get a lot of sinus stuff, allergies and things, and I'll do this and kind of just clear out those airways. Even if you're stopped up, if you just sort of like move through it, it'll start to clear up, clear up, clear up.
Yeah. Any type of breath work that you do through the nose can really help to clear the nasal cavity. I like to think, because I've had quite a few challenges in my life with nasal congestion as well, and the more I started doing more nasal breath work, I started clearing those passageways. So Spirit kind of showed me in my meditations that the congestion is like a moist area, right? And so if you can create airflow and dry it out a bit, it can help to purify that area. So whether that's right or wrong in some people's eyes, I don't know, but that's what's come to me and it's worked. So it took away a lot of my sneezing fits and a lot of things. And then another thing, if you're not a really big nose breather, your nasal channels can shrink. And they can shrink up. Some people have them shrink up altogether if they got challenges and they only are mouth breathers. So it takes a little bit of practice to keep opening those channels.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing we can do. So it just sort of covers all the bases. Like the breath is the connection from every dimension of our being. So really getting back into a breath that's a little more conscious and a lot deeper, because we've all habituated a shallow breath, as Sarah was saying before, which actually keeps us in that sympathetic nervous system, that feeling like the fight or flight, like we can't get everything done, we don't know when, it keeps us in our anxieties and our worries, that sort of thing. A shallow breath is always going to keep you there, but also the beautiful thing about that is you can just shift your breath and you tap into the vagus nerve, the parasympathetic nervous system. You can slow everything down and calm yourself no matter what your environment is. So we have that ability to shift, even though we will react to our environment. Our breath will shift according to our environment. We have the conscious awareness to be able to shift our breath to change how we feel, regardless of what's happening around us. So it's just super important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also just to notice and know when we're stressed or we feel anxiety about something or we feel tension somewhere in our body, like maybe you did associate some tension or discomfort when you thought of that area in your house that might be cleansing. And that is where we're holding that fear, that anxiety, whatever it is. And this breath is simply helping to release the tension, right? It's untangling that knotted up energy. It's amazing. The breath really does. It links everything together. Yeah. So the breath is your core tool, and we all have it. So it's just knowing which ones work better for you. Like Carrie said, there's a lot of different ones. So that exhale breath can help to also calm the nervous system. The heart-centered breath that I guided you guys into is also a scientific proven centering of the nervous system as well. The heart really is your largest electromagnetic field in your body, and it helps synchronize all layers of your body. You have brain waves that are measured in hertz, you have your heart waves that are measured in hertz, you measure your respiratory, all that, and they've found that if you focus your breath on your heart, this literally synchronizes everything else to it. So you can create a calm rhythm here, everything else will happen. So, yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for letting me share.
Hi, welcome. If the sprinkles bother you, I know I brought you all closer. You know, you can also move. Oh yeah, I have a cat. You can also gather her here. Thank you. You know, I use that breath a lot, actually. When I'm tired in the car, when I need to be grounded, all these different things. So, breath, so important. So cleansing, more about cleansing. So if people have gotten the newsletter, there's some really fun articles in there. One of them that I put in there is about liver, and actually there's a really wonderful one about hydrotherapy that Nicole wrote, and thinking about all different ways of cleansing. And in the newsletter, there's so many different ideas about how we can cleanse ourselves, and what does that even mean, right? So for the liver cleansing, you know, you can actually use many tools that we have. The hydrotherapy that Nicole was talking about is a really wonderful way to actually clear your liver as well. So liver, if you read the newsletter, is responsible for so many things. It's definitely a big, maybe the biggest part of detoxifying your whole body in your life in so many different ways. So if we're working on the liver, how can we really, you know, support all the different things that the liver does and make the liver work better and allow us to be clearer in all the things that we do and able to bring new things into our lives, like I was saying at the beginning. So one of the ways is actually to do hydrotherapy on your liver. So your liver is tucked under here, under your right rib cage, and if you can do hot and cold things, hot and cold therapy to that area, increases circulation to the area of the liver. You can also do castor oil packs. I just had lots of experience with castor oil recently. My mama took castor oil yesterday and she had her baby this morning. And another mom is taking castor oil today and have her baby tonight or tomorrow morning. So castor oil is useful for many things. But castor oil packs actually you can put on your liver. So you actually can soak a flannel cloth or any kind of cloth in with the castor oil. It's very sticky. So you put the flannel cloth on this area, or you put the castor oil on this area, and then you really want to put some kind of plastic or something covering that, because if you just like went to sleep or rested or put something over you, like clothes over you, it would all stick to the castor oil. So instead, you put the castor oil, you put a plastic, and then you can put a heating pad or a hot water bottle. You can actually, it kind of like massages things. It gets it gets things moving. The energy, if it's stuck or stagnant. And a lot of what happens in the liver is that we have what we call stagnant liver chi. So the liver energy gets like kind of stuck, and and it doesn't move that well. So the castor oil, and that's why it works well in getting people to go into labor as well, is it gets into the system. So if you take it orally, it will actually do many things. So when I was in my La class and I was like, what do you call it, standing into the class, I wasn't really taking it, and all the other students over there probably knew a lot better and a lot more than me. And our teacher, Mr. Levant Ohai, said, okay, we're going to do castor oil, raw kukui nuts, and prune juice. And you're going to take it and see how wonderful you cleanse. And since I was such a good student, I actually did it exactly how he told me, and found out later that no one else except for one other person in the whole class actually did it exactly that way. And lo and behold, I took it in the afternoon, and I was not able to sleep all night because I was lying on the bathroom floor, cleansing everything out of me that needed to move on to the next place. A little bit intense. I do not suggest that as a practice, but you can. I tell you, do it if you're in the mood for clearing everything out that needs to come out of you for extended hours at a time. And otherwise, you can rub it on your belly, or you can take like a couple tablespoons, followed by like almond butter or something like that, and that's how people do it towards getting themselves in labor, because it stimulates your digestive tract, it moves everything around, stimulates the uterus, and then wham, contractions kind of kick in. We're not suggesting that for people getting into labor. We're just saying that's a kind of a last resort. But castor oil is a really wonderful, useful plant and useful tool for many things. So that's kind of a few things for the liver. The other thing that's wonderful for the liver, if my little helpers can actually pass out those little glasses that are on the round table, right, on the round cutting board right over there, is herbal medicines. So I have a little bottle I'm carrying over here, and I don't know how many people have actually tried milk thistle seed. So I bought a little bottle, and if you want to use a spoon, you can put a few little seeds in your hand and chew it. It's really really hard and crunchy, or hard, so be careful if you have loose teeth or you're trying to avoid a certain tooth. And the little glass that's going around actually has a magical liver elixir. It's not that complicated, but it's actually two of my favorite herbs, and they're dandelion and milk thistle. So we have a lot of dandelion in the garden. If you'd like to ever taste them, I think last time we had some greens. So you're welcome to sample it. It's just dandelion and milk thistle and our wonderful flow water. And it will help cleanse you and move through you, but not like castor. just nice and easy to help stimulate the liver. The other thing that's really wonderful for the liver is how does it taste? Not bad. Pretty good, right? If you eat that, if you put it in hot water, then the alcohol, a little bit of alcohol that's in there, a little bit of grain alcohol that's in there, it evaporates. He knows the flavor. There's definitely more. I just made it. Thought I made it, but it's not. And then I'm going to pass this around so people want to sample milk thistle seeds. An artichoke I was mentioning. So I was gonna actually get some artichokes, and the way you can make artichoke tea. Who's had artichoke tea here? I'm sure we have. Okay, we will. Artichoke tea is so really wonderful for the skin. It clears things. So the liver is your detox organ, but your skin is actually your biggest elimination organ. If you put your skin on the ground, it would be huge. It's a huge organ, and it actually but it is really the biggest organ we have to eliminate things. So when we have a liver thing going on, as we notice, often we have skin things happening. I was working with a very interesting. I share these stories often, so I might have shared this before. But I was in India, and I was working with a sexologist dermatologist in Pune. And when I first started working with him, I was like, that is kind of different. And how does that go together? And what I discovered after working with him was that he said that in India, well, he said everywhere, but he's in India, a lot of people have suppressed or congested liver energy because of emotional things. And I'm going to get into the liver and the emotions in a second. But they have like congested energy, and so it comes out in their skin. So they end up having like skin rashes or skin problems or different things like that. And he would work with them with their sexual issues, and their skin would get better. And so that was how the dermatologist, sexologist thing kind of worked together. And it was really interesting. He talked about how the energy gets stuck in different places. One in the bottom of your spine, in like the root chakra, and it gets stuck there. And so if you energize it through sexual exercises and understanding the connections between where you hold your root energy tension, then it will move up the spine. And he was talking about how there's different spinning nerve bundles. That's, he would call it like, and he didn't really call it chakras, but he said they probably correspond to the chakras where the energy is either stuck, like a big pile of nerves just sitting there, or they're spinning and they're moving, and that's how the energy moves up the spine. And if you're not moving and it's stuck there, that's one place. It gets stuck a lot in the root chakra. The other place that it gets stuck a lot is in the liver, and the liver is responsible for a certain emotion or certain emotions. So I know there's a lot of people here, most of us, that know all the other things about emotions and the organs. So we can just shout out if you want to. I like participation. So let's think about the kidneys. We'll get to the liver, but let's think about the kidneys. If you were to think your kidneys are back here, what emotion would be associated with the kidneys?
Fear.
Fear, exactly. And that's kind of going around a lot in the last couple of years, right? So a lot of people have kidney issues. So either the emotion can cause the problem with the organ, or the organ can cause more of the problem with the emotion. So it's like a two-way
How did
street.
everyone know fear is associated with the kidney?
How do we
I
know?
have a lot of kidney stones.
Yeah.
Same.
So
We've already been down that journey.
and actually in Ayurveda, and Cory can help me out too. We have different lists in Ayurveda and in Chinese medicine and naturopathic medicine. They're kind of a little different, mostly similar, but things like, for example, the kidneys, they're in the back here, right? And they're associated with the root chakra, associated with your basic existence. So if you have issues about like, am I going to survive? Survival issues. That's like it can become a fear thing, and that can actually damage your kidneys. Or if you have like kidney problems because you had, I don't know, lots of kids or something, or you have sexual energy things going on, then you can actually create more fear in your life. So kind of like that's the energy there. There is. What about the lungs? Lungs. Breathing. Grief, sadness. So there's this thing about lungs when people have pneumonia or people have problems with bronchitis or breathing issues, that they actually have some sadness they're holding in there. They're keeping it in there somehow, or maybe some long ago grief that they're not aware of. And when they start working on their lung issues to help them with their lung problems or their allergies or their breathing things or their sinus problems sometimes, then all that stuff starts coming out, and they realize that really there's some root issues there that they're really sad about, that they haven't really dealt with. And so you can do it again with lung herbs. You can help that, and with the emotion of sadness and grief, you can also help heal the lungs as well, if you work on your sadness. So there's a lot, and all the other organs have connections as well. The heart has some with joy, right? So you can be really joyful, and that really helps the heart energy. If you're a little bit overly sometimes exuberant, it can be hard on the heart energy. So you have to watch it both ways, and we can see how that affects the body in many different ways. But the heart is related to everything, of course. All the organs are related to each other. So the liver, just cleanse your liver. So do you feel a little lighter anywhere in particular about any particular emotion, or do people know what the emotion in the liver is? Anger. Exactly. Of course, like how do you know? So
I guess it's Ayurveda.
so anger. So the thing with the liver is that many people feel that liver energy or anger energy is actually not a real emotion. Not as what we label it, but it's not really an emotion. It's actually repressed emotions, right? So when you're angry, have you ever noticed that if you're angry at your partner or you're angry at someone or you start lashing out, that what's really behind it? What's really associated with it? Like maybe, I know for myself, sometimes I'm like really sad. I'm really actually really sad, or I'm really like grieving about something, but I feel like I can't really do that. I feel like for some reason I am not able to because it's not appropriate, or maybe I'm even like really happy and really want to be joyful. But it's either like it's not appropriate, it's not the right time, or it's not feeling. So then it gets constrained. The emotion gets constrained, and instead of being able to express the emotion, we get angry, and it gets locked up in our liver. And then our liver, since it's important for detoxifying the whole body, it isn't able to do its job. And then what happens, right? We have skin issues, or we have digestive issues, or we have blood issues, or we have all kinds of things like that that affect our bodies in so many different ways. So I was thinking that what phone is that? I was thinking that we would do a little exercise in emotional work or emotional play, and a little bit work with some anger potentially. But maybe no one has been we're gonna play this little music here, and we're gonna see. So here's the thing. This is not about getting all the anger in the world that you've ever had. Getting out. It's not about that. It's not like there's a set amount of anger or a set amount of repressed emotion, and then you're going to clear it. And it's going to be fine. It's an ongoing process. But I wonder how many of us feel okay about like yelling, randomly. Who does like?
I love yelling.
Okay,
More or less.
good. Okay,
I love yelling.
a few hands out there. Because some people, some of my clients, they actually tell me that they don't know a place to yell. Like one of them was on a hike and they decided, I'm going to yell on this hike because no one's around. And they like started screaming, and someone thought that was going to call the police, or they thought that someone was getting killed. Who was getting killed? And they were like running around. And, oh my gosh! And so they're like, okay. And then someone else decided they were going to yell in their car. These are really true. Yell in their car.
That's
And-
my place.
Yeah, and so they're yelling in their car at a stoplight, and the people in the car next to them, which they didn't even realize, starts like pounding on their window and making all these sounds like they think they're not doing well, something's wrong, right? Because there's something associated with that whole thing that doesn't give us the place to really express those repressed feelings sometimes. So of course, writing is great, journal writing is great, drawing pictures is wonderful, remembering your dreams, all those things help you bring out the repressed emotions that might be in there. But I thought we would do this little shaking thing. So again, when I was in India, and a screaming thing, just little prep. Maybe before we're gonna do this, you can say hi to your neighbor, introduce yourself, take a moment, and then we're gonna actually stand up. Oh, don't do it yet. And we're gonna actually face outwards, so you don't have to like stare at the person next to you while you're doing whatever you're doing to release whatever you need to release. It may not be there, but it could be. It's been a long year or a long few years. Or you're actually really tired, or I don't know, you're just really like blah. We're not going to probably use words because sometimes it might start getting crazy with the words. We're just going to use sounds if we can, and we're going to just kind of move it out. And it doesn't have to be like a bad sound. CJ reminded me that it can be like you feel about that situation that was repressed, and it might be so hilarious that you want to just laugh hysterically for however long it is. It's just an expression. It's a moving out. So the liver doesn't have to be congested. So when I was in India, I was at this kind of crazy ashram that I kind of found myself there. I don't know has anyone been to or heard of Osho? Okay, lots of people. Okay. So when I was in Oregon, going to medical school, actually, he was like his little ashram was there at a commune in the valley. Actually, he did crazy things like poison the salad bar. I don't know if anyone heard about these things. And he had alleged, correct. And he didn't necessarily, but that's what they said. And he had like all these Rolls Royces. He was kind of crazy. And when I went to India, I found out a lot more about him because people didn't want me to go to that ashram. They thought it was like not a good place to go. They said, don't go there. Go other places, but don't go there. That's not a good place. People do weird things there. They're running around naked. I don't know. They were just saying that things happen there. So, but you know me, I like to explore and investigate places that people talk about. So I investigated, explored it, and really the deal with Osho was that he wanted to be kind of crazy so that people wouldn't like follow him. He said, we all have these programs, and we all have these things that are stuck onto us, that are glommed onto us from our parents and our past lives. Who knows what they're from, and from our programming from school. I had a lot of it. It was a great school, but it programmed me extremely heavily. Of course, it did produce one of our presidents of the United States, but it did program me really, really hard. And all of that stuff, when I went to India, I went into this big tent with like 500 people, literally 500 people, this huge tent, and we played this crazy music, and everyone shook. And I did this for like 2-3 weeks straight. It's basically like 15-20 minutes of we're not going to do that today. Not 15-20 minutes, but it was 15-20 minutes of shaking, like crazy shaking, and then it was 15-20 minutes of like moving, and then it was silent meditation. And he said, you don't have to know what you're shaking off. You just have stuff that's stuck on you. Everyone has stuff that's stuck on them. And if they just spend some time every day shaking their body, not rhythmically, you're not like doing a dance or anything, you're just kind of like, okay, my head needs to shake now, then my arm needs to shake, and then my foot needs to stomp or whatever it is and shake. And if you just move it off, and little by little, more of your true self is able to emerge. And little by little, your liver doesn't feel so tied up in a knot because it's trying to pretend to be something that it's not or not be able to express. So when we start in a second. We're gonna stand up, we're gonna face outward, and we're gonna actually ground our feet. Maybe we can do that now. Okay, before we do that, just say hi to your neighbors, say hello, take a moment, say, my name is so-and-so. You know, if I'm sitting next to you, it's okay. I'm really okay.
Swear, Mariah.
They're not. Meet someone new, so if you, okay. You'll feel good. Okay, so now let's all stand up. Stretch a little bit. If we don't mind. And you obviously never have to do what I say. You can just do it. Especially if you're nervous. Okay, so in a second we're going to turn outwards. We're not going to be seeing each other, right? We can do that right now. We're going to face outward, and we're going to ground your 2 feet in the ground. You're going to press the center of your heels in the ground. Find a space to like, you can be underneath, wherever you want. Just like, not necessarily looking at somebody, just feel like that, you know. We're gonna sort of play this crazy like music, and we're gonna see if you can just shake for a while, and just like 30 seconds. It seems like a long time to shake, but that's music. I swear. As long as we can, it's like crazy music. We'll see. Okay, it's coming on. You can get ready. You can do it without music. A lot of people. I have people that go into their bathroom at work and they just like close the bathroom door.
Yeah.
Shake.
Yeah.
Oh, Merci, get out.
Let it.
I know, right? Yeah.
Shaky.
Shake, barrel.
Whoa.
Shake
Shake
it
it.
out.
That's it. Take it. Take it.
Yeah.
Take it. Don't break it.
You got
Don't
it.
stop. Don't stop. Keep going.
Can we
She's like,
scream?
stop looking at me.
No, keep going. Keep shaking.
Come on, Barrel.
Come on, join us.
Shake it up.
Come on, there we go. And
Yeah.
buddy. Yeah, we'll just make our own music.
Yeah, right? I thought they were playing some.
I
Oh,
know.
they're working on it.
They were.
They're working on it.
Make your own music.
Okay, I'm gonna yell because my okay.
Yeah, there you go.
We're just gonna yell. So okay, shake one more time. Let's all shake. Let's close our eyes for a second. Shake. Thank you for participating. Okay, after that, we're calm and sit down because we're going to bring up our next one first to talk about poop and eliminating. So once you actually have detox, you're going to know a little bit. And I have this great book in the corner here that says, "What Your Poop Says to You." Dr. Merci with her beautiful daughter Zen. What's your poo telling you?
Oh my goodness.
Is that going to induce one of those cleanses?
It very well could. Okay, guys, so since we did some movement, it's possible that things might be moving out later today, or hopefully by tomorrow morning, right? Maybe not everyone likes to study what happens when you're releasing everything, into the toilet. But it's nice to just take a look sometimes and do like little scientist thing, little investigator thing. Okay, what's going on in there today? It's good to look at the color, right?
beats.
But avocados could indicate something going on, right? You guys are probably familiar with that. We often talk with moms about their baby foods. They can be all sorts of colors, especially with solid foods. So, who has heard of the Bristol stool chart? Bristol stool chart? Oh, yeah, I have information on that.
It's my constant study.
Wow, now it could be. So briefly, you can totally Google it and see all these different wonderful pictures. This is one of the kids' versions. There's type 1 through 7. So if you have a gastroenterologist, they'll definitely know about this. Most likely all your naturopathic doctors will teach for sure, like your practitioners will help you kind of evaluate what's going on in your body with your poop. Type 1 is rabbit droppings. Have you ever had rabbit dropping poop? Have you ever had poop that's like little tiny pellets?
Yeah.
It could happen. Not so good, right? Maybe too many chips.
What does it mean?
Maybe not enough water.
Dehydration.
Any other reasons? Dehydration. Any other reasons come to mind you think that might cause rabbit pellet poop? Potentially. Okay. Well, keep thinking about it. Might need to
Stress.
talk about this. Type 2 is like a bunch of grapes. But it's all like together, like one poop, but it's kind of like lumpy like a bunch of grapes. But it could very easily turn into rabbit pellets. Pretty dry. Yeah. Okay.
Should we be raising our hands like when we're...
Probably you've had everything on the chart.
Good man.
Type 3.
Did I send you my video I showed you?
They say type 3 is like corn on the cob. But type 3 is considered normal a lot of the time. But it's like a nice, well-formed poop. It may be a little lumpy, but not too dry, you know. But nice, well-formed. Okay, moving on. Just going to think about this a little bit longer. You can think about food groups, whatever. Type 4, sausage. It's the perfect poop. Complete. Perfect in the toilet. You can see the whole thing, right?
Like a breakfast.
Like a
Bratwurst?
Type 5 is like chicken nuggets. But it's more like a little wet at this point, not so dry. Like wet chicken nuggets. Probably not the kind you want. Type 6, porridge.
Yeah, it's a big jump.
Type 7 is like you got something going on for sure because that's gravy, that's liquid, that's diarrhea at that point. So type 5 and 6 are heading towards 7 diarrhea, right? All the way on the other side is the super dry and hard, and type 3 and 4 in the middle. Okay, so everyone's got it, and I have another little chart too you can look at later if you want to for reference. But I did have a little fun during my daughter's nap with Play-Doh, and most of her Play-Doh is like type 1. But I'm just going to bust out some, and you're going to let me know what type you think it is. Kind of small, because most of it was dry and hard. Okay, this one. Can you see it from there?
Yeah, that's right.
Corn on the cob. I don't know if you can tell, but this is like a little bit more corn on the cob. Kind of imagine. This would be like well, tacos actually food for me inside sometimes, but this would be like a little tiny person's food. Okay. Next one. So that one was like a type 3. Ooh, this one's pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst.
Type 4. Bratwurst.
Oh.
The color is not indicative of what's happening with the stool.
No, that's beets. They were eating
Imagine,
beets.
right?
That was the ideal.
Yeah, it's a little spooky.
I do have a color chart up here too. If you're concerned, you can take a look. Okay, let's see. This one. My phone.
Great.
Great.
This one.
Two.
Great. Number 2. Pretty dry. You can see it could fall apart. Totally great. So have you ever had a poop like that? But maybe not that color. Hopefully not. Talk to your doctor as well. Ooh, what about this one?
Oh.
Rabbit.
That one is type 1.
Too much Cheetos.
That one is type 1, like rabbit poop.
I look for the color.
Okay, so actually, I lied. That one was not the rabbit poop one.
That's
That one was
4,
supposed to be
5.
slightly wet.
5.
Because this one
Here it comes.
is pretty dry.
I
There's
don't know
blue
if you can
sky
tell
on
the
the other
difference, but if
side.
you touched it, you could. It's so hard, so dry, more like rabbit pellets. The other orange one was type 5, like a little bit wet, right? A little bit loose and wet. And then we have a little dirt, and actually it's a little bit of old elderberry syrup, so it smells really good. We're gonna give it back to the earth. This is what type here?
7.
That's not quite 7 because there's still some chunks in it.
Oh, I didn't see the chunk.
Oh.
But this one would be your type 7. 8. 7 or 8. Yeah, I mean 8 of that. Okay, so I think you guys got the type stuff really good. Good job. So next time you look at your food, you can like maybe analyze it a little bit and think to yourself, what's happening? If you've got like a 5 to 7 going on, there's probably some inflammation in your gut, in your colon. Maybe you need to reestablish healthy microflora. Maybe you need to look at what medications you've been taking. Maybe your liver is having to work too hard. All sorts of things that can contribute to your poop. If it is on the dry, hard side, number 1, what do you think is the number
Water.
1 thing?
Hydration.
Electrolytes. Hydration. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that so you don't go like too far down the drain. But feel free to come and look at these little flyers. I'm going to leave them on the desk in the back. And I don't know if anyone mentioned, we do have a little sign-in sheet if you want to write down your name, your email, and if you want to volunteer ever for our event.
What about colors?
So for the color, I mean, it's like kind of going down the rabbit hole.
What's healthy color?
It's okay, it's Easter.
Yeah,
on the
so
rabbit
many
hole.
Easter colors.
Well, what would be a healthy color?
Healthy color is really just brown. Yes. Really? Any of these colors that you saw in the eggs?
Green could be okay if you eat a lot of green.
Green could also be a bacterial infection. Green could
Oh,
also
if
be
you eat a lot of
antibiotics.
greens is.
Black could be iron overdose. Black could be blood. Red could be meat.
Yeah.
Red could be blood as well, obviously. Red drinks.
If it's red, if you think it's blood, you know, what potentially is that? Is that color or
Well, probably need to like work it up a little bit. But likely if it's bright red blood, it's hemorrhoid.
hemorrhoid?
Lots of people have hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And there's such
Pretty much
you
you
can
on
do
their
about
own.
them.
So you can snip them off.
If you change your diet, if you change the way you eat, and you change your stress levels and all those good things,
And maybe work your pelvic floor.
and work your muscles in that area, they usually can resolve. Usually. You change your little lifestyle.
If it's white or clay colored, it could be a bile issue. But bile issues also could be green, like excess fat. Anyway, so I think you guys got the picture. You can start diagnosing yourself. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Yes, yes. If you eat red mashed potatoes, have you ever eaten red mashed potatoes?
Purple.
What would happen?
Die.
You should do an experiment. You should eat it and then maybe see what happens.
And speaking of that, we're talking about transit times, we're talking about poop. It's actually really kind of handy to know how fast your transit time, or how slow, or how fast your transit time is. So if you eat something like beets, you can like map it out. So if you eat the red beets, you have to eat enough of them. Just like you one beet, it might be hard to notice when the red's coming out. But if you eat a bunch of beets, you can know when they come out how long it takes to get from in to out. Like is it 24 hours? Is it 12 hours? Is it 4 hours? Is it like going in, not really getting into your system and getting out? You know?
It's a faster would seem like it's the most.
Faster could have
But not
absorption digestion issues.
too fast.
Yes.
What's
the right amount?
Yeah, what's the right
If
amount?
you were to eat beets, what's the idea?
You don't want to see it in a week. You don't want to see it in 3 days. You'd rather see it the next day.
24 hours.
The next day. 12 to 24.
Okay.
You know, everyone's going to vary a little on their normal. Some people normally poop every other day. Some people normally poop 2-3 times a day, and it could be normal. But then you can think about the crystals and the colors. There's a lot more to poop, right? We can always talk more.
Sunflower seeds and corn you can see.
So I was going to say, you don't want
like
Right
beets,
away.
if you don't like beets, you can also do sunflower seeds, corn, and charcoal. But you gotta be careful with the black thing. You don't know exactly. And if you're on medication, charcoal will cool. But those are easy. Check it out. All right. Away. Right. And we're gonna. It's really fun. There's actually a cool book and a book long. We don't have a log book. Keep it in the bathroom. And we're gonna bring up Cory. Yes, with
We'll see get plugged.
Or are you standing or sitting?
Hi everybody. I love the small intimateness today. All right, so let's just all sit up for a second. Close your eyes. And let's take 3 breaths together. And each inhalation, inhale the idea of peace and calm. And as you exhale, offer blessings. Just 3 breaths together. Lulu. So I am talking today with you guys about one of my favorite subjects in Ayurveda called Marma. And Marma are energetic points that are found on the surface of the skin where we can tap into our body's biology and chemistry. And these channels are believed to be areas where consciousness can communicate with our physical body. And the idea that we're here today, the theme of this month's gathering is cleansing. And what are we cleansing from? What do we need to get out, right? And we've had so many great examples today, and some of the things that keep coming up are the same words, are sticky and stagnant. And the stuff that's sticky and stagnant is the stuff that doesn't get properly digested, that we don't give it enough time to get fully broken down and to make its way through the process. So food starts as food and we chew it up and our mouth starts to break it down and it gets it small enough for the stomach to get it, and then the stomach breaks it up a little bit more and it passes it on to the small intestines pass it on to the colon. And all along the way, little bits are being absorbed and digested, absorbed and assimilated. But the stuff that we don't digest, the stuff that we don't get enough time to, becomes stagnant and it ferments and it putrefies and it becomes this sticky, goopy substance that sticks to our channels. And we are a bunch of channels. We mostly think of ourselves as having the digestive channel, but we are channels of water, we are channels of thought, we are channels of prana. We're really just a bunch of channels. And so Marma are one of the ways that we can be our own medicine. We can tap into our own ability to clear those channels so that prana can flow, and then the body can do the healing that it needs to do on its own. We're just the apparatus for the method of cleansing those channels, right? So that the body's own intelligence can flow. All right, so I want to share with you guys a couple of points today, and know that all of your organs, I'm going to share with you a little sequence for supporting digestion on all levels. But know that your organs, if you know where they are Marma points all on their own. So Dr. Lori was talking about the liver. The liver sits right here, kind of tucked underneath your ribs. If you just feel right there, sort of straight down from the nipple line, and put your fingers up and under the rib a little bit, you're touching your liver. And just holding this, it might be tender for stagnation there, but holding that for 3 to 7 to 9 breaths will help to open up the channel of the liver and get stagnation out of the liver. The lungs, which hold grief and sadness, that's up here, right? How we can activate them, one of the ways is up here. Here's your clavicle bone. If you just drop down one space and then one more, sort of feeling into the intercostal space, that's the apex of your lungs right there. And that's often where emotion gets stuck because we breathe so shallowly that we don't actually get the breath up there to get it out. So again, holding this space can help you release grief, and it might actually bring up grief. So you might find that when you're pressing some of the Marma points, you get emotional. Those emotions need to come up and out. Fear, we talked about with the kidneys. The kidneys are back here. They're called vruka in Sanskrit, and really they're just underneath the lowest rib in the back. And you can just put your hands over it and hold that for a couple of breaths. And just by touching those points, you're activating the energy. You're opening the flow of energy to move through those different channels. So Merci, can we have the oil now? So I'm going to take you guys through just a really simple sequence, and I have handouts for you. I'll leave them on the table. You can take it away with you. This sequence is specifically to support the digestive system because my teacher, Dr. Ladd, says that the ultimate product of our digestion each day should be that everything has to be turned into love. So that apple doesn't just get turned into energy and iron and calcium for my tissue systems. It ultimately has to become love. That's all of our conversations and interactions as well. Don't drink this.
Sounds good. Quickly.
Sure. All right, so just a little. First thing I want you guys to do is actually set the oil down and then stand up with me. All right, so because we're dealing with energy, it's a good idea that we clear our energy first before we start tapping into these very subtle energetic fields. And the Marma points are not just the subtle, they're also the physical channels as well. So I want you to close your eyes for a minute. And imagine these vortices of energy that Dr. Lori talked about again, this spinning energy. And as it spins, it's a digester of energies that are coming off of other things that you're experiencing through your senses. Through your hearing, your touch, your vision, your taste, and smell. These are all of the ways that we take in our world. And everything that comes in through the senses has to be digested and turned into love. But sometimes that stuff gets sticky too. And so we want to clear those energy lines that come in and out of the body. So what I want you to do is with your eyes closed, you're imagining from the front side of your body are all of these energy lines, almost like big tentacles or big hairs that sort of flow off the front of the body. Now take your right hand way up above your head and your left hand below your root chakra. And we're going to gather all of these energies, like we're gathering up a bunch of ropes. Gather, 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 gather. And you're going to hold them all in your left hand. Hold all of them tightly. And now imagine that your hand is a lightsaber. And you're going to pull these energies just away from your heart a little bit. And a quick slice of those energies. Good. Now, send these up to the sun. She knows just what to do with them. He knows just what to do with them. Now, with your eyes closed, imagine that you're standing behind yourself so that you can see your back, you can see the back of your head and your hair and your back of your heels. And now, same thing, gather from the crown of your head and below your pelvic bone. Gather all of the energies from the back side of the body. All the way, gather them into your left hand. And now, again, your hand is a lightsaber, but you're going to pull or cut the front now, not here. You're going to cut here because we're pulling off the back of our body. And good. And send them up to the sun. And sometimes that takes doing it a few times. Sometimes I feel more clear after I clear my back. Sometimes I feel more clear after I clear the front. Sometimes I need to clear one or the other a few times so my energy actually feels a little bit better. So try that after you've had a day or you're just feeling some stagnant energies. Okay, now let's sit back down. So the first one is we're just going to take this oil and you're going to dip your finger in, your middle finger. Could be both of them. And then to find this first point, you just match your the heel of your palm with your eyebrows and reach that middle finger all the way back to the crown of your head. Right here. And with that oil, just massage gently in a circle. This is called adipati. It means first father. It's the master Marma of all of the Marma points in the body, and it opens all of the channels. So if you just have time for one, this is a really good one to use. Okay. And then if you want to dip your fingers a little bit more, we'll come to the cheeks. This is called chibuka or cheekbuka. And this helps to regulate the salivation in the mouth. So that first part of digestion where we're starting to break down sugars, this is very supportive for that first hour of digestion. And if you're tense or angry or frustrated, it helps to get that out. Now, stick your thumb here. So you can clench your jaw, and right in the front of your jaw muscle, there's a little divot. Thumb goes there. Middle finger reaches up to the crown of, I'm sorry. Sorry, I messed up my own sequence. So head. Yes, good. Now heart. Put a little bit of that oil right on the heart. This is called hrid in Sanskrit. And massaging the heart is good for physical and emotional heart issues. So if there's high blood pressure or any stagnation in the arteries or too much worry or overstimulation of joy and enthusiasm, just massaging that point. Okay, now take your right hand to the crown of your head and your left hand over your heart and take 3 breaths. Take a little bit more oil, dip it, and we'll massage the temples. In Sanskrit, this point is called shanka, and it actually mimics the conch shell. The conch shell is called shanka in Sanskrit. And this point regulates hydrochloric acid in your stomach. So if you have over acid production, or sometimes for people who have a really low digestive fire, there's also some acid imbalance. So just massaging the temples can help balance the juices in your tummy. All right, so then we would come to cheekbuka or chibuka. Massage this a little bit. Then thumbs fall into the divot, and the middle finger is going to find the temple point. Holding these 2 points, take 3 deep breaths. Notice if any of these points are tender, it means that that particular line or organ is stagnant with emotional or physical blockages. Now, you can dip a little bit more oil, but if you can't get to your belly button, be careful because it's oil and it'll stain your clothes. So take a little bit of that oil and massage inside your belly button. This is called nabi in Sanskrit, and for many of us, we know this is the meeting point of all energy channels in the body. It's where we connect with source in the womb. We'll have to learn so much more about that. But here, this is it. This is the center. All you can activate, you can touch, you can influence all of the organs by massaging the belly button. And in classical Ayurveda, it's actually one of the main areas to administer medicine. So they'll put decoctions here, they'll put churnas or pastes in here. And so now just hold your hand there, or you can even take this beak mudra and take the fingers into the belly button. Fingers in the belly button. Take 3 deep breaths.
Danny.
Let your fingers come out gently, and then shake that off because we've picked up some sticky, stagnant stuff. Dip in the oil again, and then take your fingers to your sacrum. If you can reach your sacrum, it's that triangle bone, flat bone at the bottom of your spine, and just gently massage that. In Sanskrit, this is called kati. It's connected to the kidneys. It's connected to our reproductive organs. And definitely to that fear of not being supported. When we were doing the house cleaning thing, I was like, what area of my house has so much stagnation? I was like, it's my space. My space has all the stagnation. And I think it's a theme for me and probably for many of us. We need to give ourselves a little bit more self-care, a little bit more me time. Okay, now leave your right hand back there covering your sacrum, and bring your left hand around to the front of the belly, just below your belly button. Now you're holding your bladder and you're holding your sacrum, This is a great place to ground and release those energies of anxiety, worry, and fear. Just gently breathe 3 times here. As we move our way through these points, we're drawing the energy from the crown all the way down. And shake your hands up. Take a little bit more oil. If you have access to your knees, just gently massage the whole knee joint. This is called Janu Marma. We're very familiar with it in yoga as Janu Sirsasana. And the knees is the biggest Marma point in the whole body. It has medial and lateral points and points on the front and back of the knee as well. And it's connected to our colon. And in Ayurveda, when assessing pain or tenderness in the knee, it often precludes some kind of digestive dysfunction. So these points are also diagnostic indicators as well as therapeutic influencers. All right. So now after you've massaged a little bit, just hold your hands. You can hold the front and the back or the sides. Give it a little squeeze and take 3 deep breaths.
Wait, what are getting hiking straight? Can you teach us how to get Easter eggs? Because only the little kids are.
One more point. Dip in the oil again. You can pick your right or left or do both, but we're going to come all the way down now to this is called gulfa. It's on the medial and lateral sides of our ankle joint, about here. This is connected to the kidneys. It's connected to our ambuvahasrotas, which is the water-carrying channels, the rivers of the body. Let's just massage that a little bit with the oil. This is great for activating apana. It's great for support in labor. I've learned, haven't used it very much. Helps with circulation and specifically cerebral circulation, so getting fluids transferred all over the body evenly. Good. All right, so now we're going to squeeze that with your your pinching fingers for 3 breaths. There are a couple more points and you'll find them on the sheet, but just, I don't even know where we're at with time, so. Okay, all right, let's do one more. Dip. All right, so on the bottom of your foot, right about here, just below the ball of the foot, there's another point. It's connected to your heart. It's called Paramadhya. This is going to activate that heart energy again, which is a healing energy in the body. It's supportive again for circulation and is good for getting out stagnation and swelling in the feet. We'll try both. Maybe one is tender and the other is not. One of the things that we talk about emotionally in Ayurveda that is disturbing for the heart is excess worry. And I don't know about you guys, but with all of the fear of things happening in our world, worry is a tough one to get away from. I'm worried about gas money. I'm worried about making sure my dog gets a walk. I'm worried about, we worry about lots of things in our lives, and it can weaken our heart. So after you have massaged a little bit, I like to sit in Baddha Konasana and press that point. And as you inhale, press deeply into this point with your thumb. And as you exhale, you can soften the pressure. Add a little movement as well. So press and inhale, lift the heart, lift the chin just a little bit, draw the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, release the pressure around the back just a little bit, bring the chin to the chest. It's like a seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift the heart, press into that point, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, round, bring the chin to the chest, soften the fingers. One more time. Inhale, lift the heart, press into that point. And just soften your hands, let them come back to the lap. So these points can be activated through soft touch, through deep touch, through gemstones, through tuning forks, through prayer, through meditation, through our pranayama practices. In fact, you guys also, when you were doing Kapalabhati is one of the practices that activates this marma on our head right here called Kapala Marma. And Kapala Marma is all about keeping us in the present moment, which is so good for helping us to properly and fully digest what's happening versus, oh, I'm actually somewhere else when I'm here with you. You split your agni, or your ability to break things down. That's my little share today, guys. It's just giving you some marma points. This oil is called Pitta massage oil. It's made by Banyan Botanicals, and it's good for us out here in the islands because it helps us dispense or disperse excess heat in the body.
To add a liver point, we're doing this point. The spot between your big toe and your next one. The spot between your big toe and your next toe is a really good liver point. It's called the gates meat. They go and eliminate this a lot. When your presence is up with these other points, you can also like get this press the liver point to it. There's some points everywhere in the body. You can touch when they're tender, and you can just like massage them, move the liver energy. And like Cory was saying, there's so many different ways to clear. There's crystal, there's sage, right? There's white sage, and there's sea salt. So that's the wines that become to cleanse the space. So you can just find your own way to feel like, just your own ways to feel the space, if it's cluttered, or if it's toxic, or if there's something, if it's toxic, or if it's cluttered, or there's different things about the space, and that's the things you can do. Like you might be drawn to sage, and you might be drawn to the Native American way, the smudge thing, or you might be drawn to have it really change a lot of the things in your life. When she said it learned smoking points as a pencil, and it was something that cleared negative energy away from her field, and she felt like she could walk in a little clearer space by just having this smoky quartz on her, or crystal clear quartz. Or sometimes you can put it on in your car or in your room or whatever that you're playing with. And I think that Merci is over there thinking about some egg hunt coming up soon. Since it is Easter. So I'm not sure if this is a plan for the children or for everybody, but I was gonna say you're welcome to do a little stretch and do a little walk. If you find non-dyed eggs, just telling you, if they're white eggs or brown eggs or blue eggs, light blue, but they're not dyed, they're probably raw, and you probably don't want to pull them out of the nest or pull them under the chicken or whatever. So we should tell the kids that too. So I think she's gonna do a hiding thing, but I also want to leave a little moment.
I just want to say I'm going to put these on the back end. I'm stitches, so I'm super sensitive, and I made a mistake here, so I have to pull myself out.
Don't touch those.
That's okay, I don't really talk about it really loud. But it just says Marma points of Ayurvedic. We went back and forth, and then we just forgot. Anyways, it says Marma points of Ayurvedic instead of Ayurveda. Whatever.
You're forgiven. There's lots more to learn about the Ayurveda stuff from Cory and other classes we're going to be offering too. So Merci, she's over there, or someone like that.
Merci.
I had him on the job. What was that?
Yeah, we're asking you what's the story.
Okay, so I have like 4 big kids hiding some eggs, and all the little kids are hiding in the back, and then they're gonna come find. Yeah.
So in the meantime, where the kids are finding things, we're welcome to get up and share and meet each other a little bit and learn more about what we're doing here. And I really appreciate you coming to them today and sharing with us. And we want to leave some time for questions and for talking to each other. So thank you so much, everybody, ambassadors and friends.
I know, I was just noticing that. Like, do we have a trash, Cory? Yeah.
I love you.
You're supposed to drink that.
Oh yeah.
You could drink it.
You can?
You could.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's oil. It's sesame, coconut, and it has a bunch of like neem and manjista, guduche, bunch of Ayurvedic.
You can drink it, you said?
You could drink it. Yeah, number 7.
I like it. Hey, I'm all about it. Is that a lot?
Marty or
I'm not sure. It's like macadamia nut oil. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's not bad, huh?
How much do you drink? You drink that much?
Yeah, I drink. Maybe not that much. I'll split with you.
Yeah, I bet. You're on what side, yeah?
Cut it out.
I'm pretty sure we did it at the same time.
All right, let's get our kids home.
Oh, what side?
Oh, you're good.
I gotta add
What was
some
that?
sound. You know me.
Sound to it.
Let me hold this little baby.
Dinner! Dinner!
I was like, just now it's time. Yeah.
Yeah, the only ones in
I know.
Good job.
Now I can tell by the
Going out nice and easy.
yeah, I mean,
But I like it when it's kind of light brown.
yeah.
Orange.
I guarantee you that about every 4 months. Yeah, they'll get like full blood. Like, but I have to be careful because I juice with beets a lot too. But I can tell the difference. This one's like it's like I look down like you know what I mean?
I know most people do get them.
I just I don't know why I think it's not being nice. Oh, whoa.
Two swell. Wednesday, Thursday, and then another one right after.
Thursday and then Friday. What's this?
First one hits one. I'll do what day is the first one hits
But yeah, that's the one that's the side band one that's going to maps, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be like Wednesday, Thursday. Probably. And it's gonna be.
And then the next one, like 3 days later or 4 days later, another 6.
April. Remember last year, we had a giant Westworld, like a true Westworld. Sunset was as big as it gets, and surfable. It was super west. And it was in May, like April, May. It's the only time sunset breaks over, I think, really over 12 feet and holds there. It's when it's like west. You know? Other than that, it's like.
I remember when we were young, so many days going out there when it's good. I mean, I remember a couple days when you got like 12, 15 waves, like way out in this little just stubble.
Well, you know what reminds me is like back in the day, like 15 years ago, like whenever I would see jet skis towing yards when it was big and you were surfing sunset, you knew it was like big west. And you don't rarely see that anymore. Like it's northwest, more north, but like true west when sunset's like and you see them come in. Usually if it's northwest, you see those things come in your port. Those ones come in and you can get surfing, you know. Or there.
What do you mean? Hi. Amazing.
That's dinner.
It was starting out really west, but it already turned to like straight northwest. But it'll probably start pretty west in the 19th, and then straight northwest. But then it goes north quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have some variety.
So come Lannis.
Not that north, but there's a bunch of little north.
You just know that two swells, there's going to be like 7-8 days worth of waves. Downside comes up on the downside, on the come back up again on the downside. It's like another. It's going to take you into May, basically. Not that I can surf, but yeah.
I'm gonna start telling them that we're ready.
I can be a whipping guy.
Oh,
just as many waves as you want.
Oh, that sounds.
I'll do it.
If there's no wind,
Phantoms.
I just felt like
Come down.
I'm just telling you.
I can make sure.
That's the title.
Yeah, I just want to take this.
I think we're gonna stack them up. Do they stack them over there, Carrie? Over there. I know, I'm like.
It's already on the ground.
Yeah, thanks for